Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IS Academy. So today in Indian Express, a wonderful editorial which is written by C. Raja Mohan. And this editorial is about the Eurasian powers and recent NATO summit. So Eurasian powers must find political answers to security problem. A wonderful editorial written by C. Raja Mohan. So what if I told you that the world's security architecture is collapsing, not just because of a war, but because of the withdrawal? And what if the world's most powerful military alliance, NATO, is on the verge of breakdown? What if the Middle East peace process is being redesigned not by the diplomacy, but by bomb as well as billionaire instincts? And what if the world's most powerful nation, that is United States of America, has decided to walk away from the very global order it built? So welcome to the Great Eurasian Shift, a historic moment where Germany rises, Russia threatens, Trump disrupts, and India recalibrates. So this is happening. So from the battlefields of Ukraine to the deserts of Iran to the seas of Indo-Pacific, we are witnessing the birth of a new world order. So in today's explosive video, we decode a groundbreaking article which is written by C. Raja Mohan, a renowned strategist, and he's revealing that how Donald Trump's geopolitics is redrawing the global map and how Europe is rearming and how India holds the key to survival in this unpredictable area. So stay till the end, because what is happening right now in Berlin, Tehran, Washington as well as New Delhi could decide the future of war and peace for next 50 years. So what is given in this editorial? So what is the main idea of this editorial? As you can see here, these things. So let me tell you this word, especially Eurasia. What does it mean, Eurasia? Europe plus Asia. So this Eurasia is entering into a new geopolitical phase. So with Donald Trump questioning the traditional alliances like NATO. So Donald Trump is questioning the alliance like NATO, and US pulling back from its global leadership role. Countries in Europe, the Middle East as well as the Asia, these countries must rethink their own security strategies instead of depending on the United States. So what is the geopolitical background? So first we are going to understand geopolitical background. So in this we need to understand, which is given in the editorial, that is what are the Trump recent moves and NATO crisis. Now, Trump recent moves. So recently USA bombed Iran's nuclear facilities, and Trump helped brokered a fragile ceasefire between Tel Aviv, Israel, and then Tehran, that is Iran region. And now focusing on Europe, particularly NATO, that is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So these are recent moves of Trump. Now, why NATO is in crisis? So first of all, let me tell you that NATO's 32 member summit took place this week in Hague. And Trump is questioning the relevance of NATO. जी हाँ, Trump ने NATO के relevance पर ही सवाल उठा दिया. Trump is questioning the relevance of NATO now. He wants Europe to take the full ownership of its security, which leading to a strategic shake-up. So NATO, which was established in 1949, NATO का बना 1949 में. So NATO's original 1949 goal, as stated by its Secretary General Lord Ismay. So NATO का goal क्या था? तो वो किसने दिया था? Lord Ismay ने. Now let me tell you what did he say. Lord Ismay said to keep the Americans in, Russians out, and Germans down. That was the statement of Lord Ismay. इन्होंने, who was the first Secretary General of NATO, इन्होंने क्या कहा? To keep the Americans in, Russians out, and Germans down. Now, अब ये जो स्टेटमेंट था, Americans in, अमेरिका क्या होना चाहता है? अब इससे बाहर होना चाहता है. Russians out, है ना? Now America is trying to engage with Russia under the presidency of Donald Trump. Germans down. Now again, Germany's rise in Europe. So as you can see here, the next thing which is mentioned in the editorial, that is Germany's rise in Europe. Now, Germany's rise in Europe, from geopolitical dwarf to security provider. Okay, first thing that we need to understand with respect to Germany, from geopolitical dwarf to security provider. So, first of all, try to understand, for decades, Germany avoided war and hard power due to Second World War guilt. And then Germany reunified, German reunification, then German reunification in 1991. So after reunification in 1990 to 91, it became an economic powerhouse but still relied on US security. Now, turning point has come during Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Now, what was that turning point? Now, Germany declared the Zeitenwende. Now, what is this? A Zeitenwende, a historic shift. Under whom? Under the Chancellor Olaf Scholz, as you can see here. So, Germany, Olaf Scholz. So, as you can see here, that in 2022, now 2022, German Chancellor, he declared a historic shift, and his name is Olaf Scholz. He also announced 100 billion euros fund to modernize the German army. इन्होंने ये भी announce किया. And then he also promised to meet 2% of GDP for NATO defense spending. And then he started sending the lethal weapons to Ukraine, a big shift for pacifist Germany. Now, third change kya aaya? So as you can see here, third change came under, that is consolidation of, or you can say consolidation under the Chancellor Friedrich Merz at present. Ji haan. So consolidation under the Chancellor Friedrich Merz, that means during present time, he is the present Chancellor of Germany. Now, he continuing Germany's assertive defense path, which leading NATO's enhanced forward presence in Lithuania region. And Germany also pledged permanent deployment of a German combat, that is ready brigade there. So this is the change in German foreign policy as well as political shift. Now, when we see Trump's strategic shakeup, now we need to understand at the same time Trump's strategic shakeup. That means Trump stands over Russia. Now, what is Trump's stance on Russia? Now, Trump wants reconciliation with Russia. He does not see Putin or Russia as a threat. And that is why Trump urges Ukraine also. Trump urges Ukraine to trade territory for peace. Okay. And Trump also pushed to reintegrate Russia into G8. अब Trump कह रहे हैं कि Russia को G8 में भी लाया जाए. Earlier it was a part. Earlier Russia was in G8, but after Russia annexation of Crimea in 2014, Russia came out from G8. So Trump is pushing to reintegrate Russia into G8, which it was removed from after Crimea annexation in 2014. Now, what are Middle East plans? So now we need to understand the Middle East plans. Now, अब Trump क्या चाहते हैं यहाँ पर? So Trump want to extend the Abraham Accord from 2020 between Israel and Arab nations to include Saudi Arabia also. And his camp dreams of a new, अब ये एक नया अकॉर्ड भी लाना चाहते हैं. So his camp dreams of a new Cyrus Accord. Cyrus, who was a great leader of Persia. So his camp dreams of a new Cyrus Accord, peace between Iran and Israel, referring to the Cyrus the Great, who was the great ruler of Persia. और ट्रम्प ये भी कहते हैं that Cyrus, who freed Jews 2500 years ago. So इन सभी चीजों का एम क्या है? What is the aim? So let me tell you, the aim is to weaken the Iran's theocratic regime and reshape the Middle Eastern region. है ना? Now, what are the impacts on Asia and Indo-Pacific? अब देखिए कितना बढ़िया एडिटोरियल लिखा है सी राजा मोहन ने. He has covered each and every aspect. So what will be the impact on Asia as well as Indo-Pacific? Two things: regional uncertainty and Trump's unrealistic demands. Now, what are regional uncertainties here? Allies like now Asian allies जो हैं Trump के, US के. So Asian allies like Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand. Now these countries, now they doubt US security commitments, and none of these leaders attended this year's NATO summit. None of these countries' leaders attended this year's NATO summit, which signaling the distance. Now, another thing was Trump unrealistic demands. Now, what are Trump unrealistic demands? Trump want NATO countries to spend 5% of their GDP on defense. Current goal क्या है? 2%. But Trump कितना चाहते हैं? That these NATO countries should spend 5% of their GDP. So most allies cannot meet this figure. That is why NATO Secretary General, he is NATO Secretary General, as you can see here. So NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, he is also the Netherlands PM, and he supports Trump idea but downplays internal tensions also. So overall, if we see the bigger picture, what is the bigger picture here? A new world order is forming. जी हाँ, कैसे? Because now America is turning inward. America is applying the policy called as America First policy. So America is turning inward. Eurasian powers like Europe, Middle East, as well as Asia, they must find political solutions to the security issues. They should reduce their dependency on United States of America. They should reconfigure regional relationships. They should reduce the dependence on United States of America for US military support. Now, in all these things, what this means for India? अब इन सभी चीजों के लिए ये इंडिया के लिए कैसा साबित होने वाला है? जी हाँ. See, India is uniquely placed geographically as well as strategically to adapt in this new world. Now, we can say this from recent smart moves by India. Now, what are those smart moves? India strengthening ties with Europe, especially France, Germany. Then at the same time, India is also engaging with Middle East players like UAE, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Israel, etc. Then at the same time, India balancing its relations with China, engaging more with ASEAN, engaging more with Australia, Japan and South Korea. And India is also keeping ties open with Trump's America in case he returns to power. है ना? That means in case if Trump, अगर अब एक चीज याद रखिएगा, मान लीजिए अगर ट्रम्प का जो इन्फ्लुएंस है और ज्यादा अगर बढ़ता है फ्यूचर में भी, तो उसमें भी इंडिया को अपने टाइज यूएस के साथ स्ट्रेंथन करने होंगे. क्लियर? तो इंडिया जो है अभी क्या कर रहा है? मल्टी अलाइनमेंट, सभी के साथ अलाइन कर रहा है ना? बैलेंसिंग हम इसको बोल सकते हैं, स्ट्रैटेजिक बैलेंसिंग. So we are actually witnessing the birth of a new geopolitical order. America is stepping back, Europe is stepping up with Germany as a new leader, and the Middle East is being reshaped. Okay. Middle East is being reshaped, and the Indo-Pacific must build new independent strategies. Now, India being a central to Europe, Middle East and Asia, India has a rare opportunity to be a bridge power and must navigate this uncertain world with diplomacy, strategic autonomy as well as smart alliance. So as the curtain rises on a fractured global stage, one thing is clear. The world will no longer be protected by American promises. है ना? So Germany, once buried under the guilt of a war, is now becoming the military backbone of Europe. Trump's America is no longer a stable ally, but a wild card. And the Middle East is being redrawn by weapons and whispers of ancient peace. And India, sitting at the intersection of Europe, the Middle East, as well as Asia, is forced to play diplomatically, defender and balancer all at once. But here is the twist, that this is not just a geopolitical story. It is a warning also. In a world of diminished, you can say, certifies, old alliances no longer guarantee protection. Military budgets alone cannot buy peace. And the enemies of the future won't just be on the battlefields. They will be in the, you can say, they will be in the lack of trust, the collapse of diplomacy and the fear of abandonment. Now, various questions are here. Will Europe stand on its own feet? Will Asia build new coalitions? Will India rise as a voice of the reason in a chaotic century? The answer lies not in the missiles but in minds. Okay. So if you found this video eye-opening, so do not forget to like, comment, share and subscribe our channel Legacy ICE Academy, because next week we explore India's silent rise as the strategic pivot of 21st century. Until then, stay alert, stay aware and stay curious. Thank you so much.